Welcome back to This Week. I'm pleased to be joined by the retired Chief Operating Officer for Alliance Bernstein, now a candidate for mayor here of Nashville, Jim Gingrich. Nice to see you again, sir.
It's great to be here, Bob.
You've done this. You've worked hard. You've been able to retire. Why now do you want to become mayor? Why do you think, maybe more importantly, you're the right person for this particular time to lead this great city?
Well, let's talk about each of those questions. I am running because I think we need a leader that finally begins to deal with the growth that we're experiencing as a city. You know, cities can grow, but if you do it without a plan, you end up with a whole series of issues that, frankly, we've been talking about for over a decade, be that affordable housing, infrastructure, crime, schools. There's only two things that are different from when we were talking about them in the 2015 mayoral forums. One is that each one of our challenges is now more severe and worse. And secondly, our city is spending 70% more for every resident than it spent 10 years ago. That is not a recipe for success for any city. And it also implies that we need to not only deal with these issues head on, but we need to get our metro government modernized so it is more effective and more efficient, whether or not that's keeping a road in good condition or dealing with some of these more complex challenges. And I'm unique in the sense that I have not been part of the last 10 years in the political world. I haven't been part of Metro. What I have been is leading a large business enterprise where I had thousands of people report to me and a budget about the same size as Metro. And we need to start to get things done, and I'm the one person who is capable of modernizing our Metro government and taking on these challenges.
When you talk with the voters out there, the people who are going to decide this race, what are you hearing from them? Are they looking for a leadership, or are they looking for someone that comes in with ideas? I mean, obviously, the problems are there. People know what the problems are. What are they looking for? Solutions to these problems, or someone to lead the city?
I think that they are looking for both, okay? There is a lot of frustration as you talk to voters on exactly what I said. We have been talking about this stuff forever. It's about time that we start doing things. And they're looking for fresh leadership that is not going to be beholden to what the city has been beholden to, and start to actually run this place for the benefit of the people who live in Nashville.
As a successful businessman, you may know this more than any of the other candidates. Relationships are what make you successful. You have to have a good relationship with your employees, with your cabinet members, with your department heads, with your voters. How do you, if you become the new mayor of Nashville, rebuild the broken bridge between the state and Tennessee, which the state doesn't really seem to want to rebuild, but it's important that there is a relationship?
There has to be a relationship, and there is every reason for that relationship to flourish. Our region has been 50% of the economic growth of the state over the last 10 years. But the fact is that I do think that the Nashville mayor does need to do more than simply invest in relationships with the governor's office or the legislature. The Nashville mayor is a natural convener of people across the state. If you look at the surrounding counties, we have so much in common with the surrounding counties, and we have to have a strong relationship if we're going to be able to not only deal with the economic growth we have, but also issues like regional transportation and regional transit. Similarly, if you're talking to the mayor of Chattanooga or Dixon or Cookeville, they're worried about issues like affordable housing and safety. These are issues that we're dealing with as well. How much more productive would it be if we had a Nashville mayor that built those types of coalitions across the state so that we were having conversations with the legislature, not just about what Nashville needs, but what is good for cities and municipalities across the entire state?
Nashville mayoral candidate Jim Gingrich. Our conversation continues when This Week continues in a moment. Welcome back to This Week in our discussion with Nashville mayoral candidate Jim Gingrich. You were talking about connectivity. There seems to be agreement that Nashville is probably 10 years behind when it comes to mass transit. There is no system in place. There are ideas, but there's nothing in place. As the new mayor, How do you address this situation? Is it all about Nashville? Does it have to be connectivity about the communities around us in order for a real mass transit system to work?
I think there are things that we should be doing in Nashville, in Davidson County, as well as across the region. Something we don't talk enough about is the number of pedestrians that are killed. We had 49 pedestrians killed last year. So there are, one, common sense things that we should be doing to make this city safer for people who are moving around by foot, whether or not that is redesigning dangerous intersections, installing traffic calming on streets, and just enforcing speed limits. Secondly, we absolutely can do things within Davidson County that are common sense things. Whether or not that is, let's just keep our roads in good condition. Let's start to increase the frequency of bus service on the highest volume routes. And let's look at rapid transit bus service from the airport along Murfreesboro Road. It's the highest volume route today. It makes a ton of sense. But 90% of the population growth in our region in the last 5 years have been in the counties that surround Davidson. And there have been a lot of studies, and those folks, many of them are commuting into Davidson County. So the idea that we can solve our transit and transportation congestion issues simply with a Davidson County only solution is just not where we need to end up.
I think Chief John Drake is doing a really good job for Nashville, but he's got problems. So he's understaffed, he needs some new police cars, crime is growing with younger people, guns are being stolen out of cars. What can you do as the new mayor to help Chief Drake get a hold of this problem to reduce some of the violence that is getting out of hand?
It is a serious issue. The data, our homicide rate 10 years ago was a little over 6 per 100,000. Last year it was over 16 per 100,000. Our violent crime rate is well above cities that I would consider peer cities, like a Charlotte or an Austin. This is something we have to take on. I think you have to do several things. One is we do need to properly resource MNPD. In 2020, it took 9.2 minutes to respond to a shooting. Last year, it was 16 and a half minutes to respond to a shooting.
That's too long.
That is too long. Secondly, though, we do need a comprehensive crime prevention strategy in our city that does target vulnerable youth. And this would be, in my mind, a multidisciplinary strategy that would be coordinated out of the mayor's office with an Office of Public Safety that would involve not just departments within Metro like MNPD or schools or social services and health, but also community organizations and community partners. We need to be investing in common sense things like after school programs and summer programs and summer jobs, similar to keep our kids on the right track.
With about a minute left, maybe a little bit less, what does Jim Gingrich want to say to the voters of Nashville that you're the man who should be leading this city the next time that the voters go to the polls, and the city has so much great things going forward, it's going to take a leader?
Look, this is an amazing city. It is. I retired 2.5 years ago. I'm going to be in Nashville the rest of my life because the people of this city are so unique and care so much about the future of the city. It is the reason that all of us should be optimistic. But we need somebody in office that is finally willing to take on the challenges that we have. We cannot keep talking about the same challenges over and over again. And I got to my position in life because I have a long track record of taking on difficult problems, making tough decisions, and time again, getting things done.
Jim Gingrich, candidate for mayor of Nashville. Appreciate your time and your insight, sir, and good luck in the campaign.
Thank you so much.
Stay with us. This week continues in a moment.